No crisis can defeat the rich. The year 2022 was, in financial terms, the most painful in living memory since 2008. The Dow Jones, the best-performing index on Wall Street, closed down about 8.8%. The S&P 500 sank 19.4%, and the Nasdaq dropped a more than worrying 33.1%. The Spanish national IBEX 35 did not fare much better, which lost. Everything has happened to us, from COVID problems in China to the invasion of Ukraine. All the problems have been very serious, although the worst thing for investors has been what the Fed is doing, Art explained to CNBC. Cashin, director of operations of the Swiss investment group UBS, alluding to the policy of raising interest rates of the U.S. Federal Reserve. The objective of this is to stop galloping inflation that in the middle of last year reached worrisome double digits in Europe and the US. This forced the central banks to take painful measures, including making the price of money more expensive. This has meant that, since the middle of last year, the funds have taken to their heels. Companies, squeezed by boards of directors, have cut staff to meet their objectives. The financing party is over for every. Giants like Amazon, 18,000 layoffs, and Google, 12,000 layoffs, among many others, have been just the spearhead of an avalanche of cuts that has already reached Spain through Europe. Come on, things are bad. But is it equally bad for everyone? Well, to tell the truth, no. For a few, in fact, things are going great. As always, a good example of this is the latest report from the consulting firm Bain & Company, which estimates that the personal luxury market will grow between 3% and 8% in 2023, even though the general economic situation may worsen. In essence, this means that the richest are immune to inflation, layoffs, and the economic situation that may result from the war in Ukraine and the outbreak of coronavirus in China. In short, whatever happens, they are going to continue spending. In total, says Bain & Company, the luxury market grew by about 21% in 2022 to reach €1.4 trillion. Meanwhile, the personal luxury goods market registered an accelerated growth of 22%, up to €353,000 million. By 2030, according to these forecasts, the value of this market will already be around €600,000 million, an increase of 60% compared to 2022. These figures will be supported, among many other things, by the spending of the younger generations, who they will burn bills 3 times faster than their predecessors. They will also do so mainly in the US. The new world capital of luxury after the emerging and thriving China has seen its economy blocked again by the coronavirus. The study has even drawn the attention of the Financial Times, which has published a column in which analyst and financial markets expert Rana Foroohar tries to shed light on how it is possible that some of the richest, those who live in the most high on the economic cusp, they can live oblivious to the general financial future, to the fact that companies are doing well or badly. I have to say that I did not expect this. I thought that even the highest net worth would be somewhat more sensitive to the sharp fall in the prices of financial assets, since they are usually people whose money comes largely from them and not from what they earn, begins explaining Foroohar in the Financial Times. But luxury experts say that so much wealth has simply been created in the last 2 decades, that even a 20% correction in the stock price is only a bump for the richest 5% of the market, the expert continues. A matter of time and habit. Foroohar fundamentally highlights 2 elements when explaining why the richest spend non-stop no matter what happens around them. They have plenty of time for it and, basically, they are used to doing it not since they were born, but even since before. The rich have more time to spend their money, as they now live about a decade longer than their low-income counterparts thanks to better healthcare, diet, nutrition and rest, explains the analyst in the Financial Times. But the deepest pockets not only have more years ahead to spend, but also have more hours at the end of the day to do so. This is simply because they work less. In this sense, the idea that the richest are workaholics is little less than a myth that is rarely fulfilled, comments Foroohar, quoting Milton Pedraza, CEO of the Luxury Institute of New York. Work for them is a sprint, not a marathon. Maybe they work hard to close a deal and then go on vacation. On average, Pedraza calculates, the richest can work about 6 hours a day, a couple of hours less than conventional permanent employees. Finally, experts say, spending money is also a matter of habit, an acquired habit. Today, medical advances, care for the mind and body, low stress, and a good diet have allowed the richest families to come together up to 5 generations that have transmitted to each other not only an opulent capital, but a lifestyle. Brands such as Louis Vuitton, Hermes or Chanel, which have been able to maintain themselves for many years, addressing only a select audience, have taken advantage of this, says Farrohar. Today, they reap the fruits in the form of an audience that has grown with them. They have focused more on a mentality than on a demographic group, says Pedraza in the Financial Times. This is summed up in the sentence, "Grandma, or great-grandma, can I borrow that Kelly bag?" As the new year approaches, some investors think the pain is far from over. They expect the bear market to persist until a recession hits or the Fed changes direction. Some are even projecting stocks to hit new lows before recovering in the second half of 2023. I'd love to tell you that it's going to be like the Wizard of Oz and everything is going to be in glorious color in a moment or two. I think we may have a rough first quarter, and depending on the Fed, it may last a little longer than that, Cashin explains.